All right, guys. So choosing the right business vehicle. Let me explain what that means. I'm not talking about cars and trucks. I'm talking about which business are you going to choose to start and grow. This is probably the second most important thing that you need to do and know. Number one is your reasons why. Number two is this. So when you're choosing the vehicle or the business that you want to start, number one, I always recommend someone to do something that they already know, right? So if you know how to do something, right? I don't know, mechanic, pool care, how to cut someone's grass. Like if you know how to do it already, you've been doing it, you know how to do it, you enjoy doing it, that's probably the best option to go, the best route. Now, there's a caveat to that because I got other principles you need to be able to hit in the check boxes to choose if that's the correct principle or the correct vehicle. So number one, I think that you should do something you already know how to do, okay? Because you don't have to figure it out or go learn it, because both figuring it out and go learning it takes a lot of time. And that's part of what I had to do when I first started pest control. I didn't know anything about it. And so I lost about 2 good years of just growth because I didn't know what I was doing. Number two, can you make $250,000 a year by yourself doing that business? This is probably the biggest point of advice I'm going to share with you in this video because it's so important. If you cannot make $250,000 a year doing the thing that you're thinking about doing, it's probably not going to be profitable enough to add employees. Here's a perfect example. I know a buddy of mine that owns a lawn care company, and we did the math together, and he was kind of telling me what a full route looks like, right? And a full route for him, and I mean, I don't understand his business. I don't know it. I don't do lawn care, but I know principles. So he says that a full route for him would be about $130,000 a year. All right. That means if he had every single, like if you worked basically eight hours a day, just cutting grass, and it's all kind of close to each other, that he would make about 140. And so to me, that doesn't qualify as a good business. And I'm not saying that lawn care is not a good business simply based on the conversation I had with him. This is where it just doesn't hit my 250 per person per by yourself plan, right? If the thing that you're trying to do, you cannot make $250,000 by yourself doing it, I don't believe it's a good business. That's where I stand. If you disagree with me, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But in my belief, if you're not making that by yourself, that's not a good business to start. So back to the point that I'm talking here. He's doing lawn care. He's saying that a full route for him would be about 120 to 130,000 a year. Here's why I don't believe it's good. Because by himself, yes, it's great. He's making 130. It's just him. He's his own boss, blah, blah, blah. Here's the downfall. As soon as you add an employee, those profits are gone. Because say you hire someone to cut grass for you, and as far as I know, you need 2 people per lawn route or whatever, but let's just say you only hire one. Well, you're going to pay that guy 20 bucks an hour, right? So you're paying this guy 20 bucks an hour times 40 hours times 52 weeks. So you're going to pay this guy, say $42,000 a year. Say you only pay him 20 bucks an hour. So you got to subtract from that 130 that he's making from the route, the 42 that he's going to pay the guy, right? That he's hiring. So when you subtract this, now it leaves you with about, rough numbers, $80,000 a year in, call it, profit. Now those $80,000 a year, it's not just all profit though, because we just took into consideration the employee, but we're not taking into consideration the vehicle breaking down, the machines breaking down, the everyday expenses of running a business. And right now it's just him and one guy he hired, right? But what about when you have 2, 3 guys? You need an office to hold all that equipment and stuff like that. And so in my opinion, okay, because I'm not, this is an opinion from my experiences. In my opinion, is $130,000 a year in a route is not enough money, because the next guy that you hire is not going to do an efficient job as you. You're always going to be the best. So he may not be able to do the exact same amount of work as you. So you might need 2 guys. So now instead of 40, you need 80 grand a year. And so then you're only profiting, after gas and breakdowns and things, you're probably only profiting 30,000 a year after you built a full route. So 30,000 a year from one route is just not enough money. It may sound like it, but it's not, because you still haven't paid yourself, right? So let's just take the same example. $130,000 route, you pay a guy 50, gas, breakdowns, and just add another 20, that's 60,000. So 130 minus 60, now you got 70K. So what, you're gonna pay yourself that 70K? How do you hire the next guy? How do you grow the next route? How do you buy the next machines? You see what I'm saying? The money's always short for growth. It's perfect if you're by yourself, right? But when you start adding employees, vehicles, and expenses that come with the business, it's really just not enough money to sustain it. So that's my beliefs. So what I think is you need to do a business that you make by yourself $250,000 plus. Some of these examples are, that I know for a fact, is HVAC. HVAC, I believe you can make about $500,000 by yourself. Plumbing, $500,000 by yourself. Think about the profit margins there. That's just by yourself. So now you make that kind of money, you add an employee, and dude, you're profiting so much money that it's easy to invest back into the business to continue to grow it. 250,000 is the number, guys. That's my opinion, and that's what I believe. 250 plus. Now you can get technical and tactical to be able to make your business more profitable. So let's just say in his example, each grass cut was only $40 a cut, which keeps him at that 130. But if he in 1 year increases prices, well, now he's making 180 or something, right? So now things change. But again, it's just harder when you're not from the gate making 250 by yourself. So to recap this video, guys, choose a vehicle that you're going to be making $250,000 by yourself. Let's just say you're a lady making or doing lashes. You need to somehow make yourself by yourself $250,000 a year. So you need to have enough accounts, do it under a certain amount of time, and have low cost to just hit that 250 mark. Once you hit that, you're in the right business. If you're a lawn guy or whatever, lawn guy, right? You need to somehow figure out how to make your business make $250,000 a year. Is it impossible? I don't know. And then if lawn care is just not that, then I just don't recommend it. You need to figure out a business that will make you $250,000 a year, because from experience, it's the only way to grow sustainably a real business. Because to me, a business is where you have employees, you have office, you have systems and processes, and the company is always making profit. Profit in a business should be 20 to 25%. So if your route is 130,000, after you are paid, after your employees, gas, breakdowns, everything's covered, you should make 20% of that. So if you're in lawn care and your route is 130,000, excuse me, I'm just doing math. $130,000 a year, 20%, let's just say, you should be profiting $26,000 a year. And that's straight profit. That's money in the bank to be used for other stuff. That's after you paid yourself. That's after you pay your employees. That's after vehicle, gas, you name it. 20%. If you're not making those kind of profits, you're not going to be able to grow the business. And those profits are once you have employees. When it's by yourself, you should be making 90% profit margins. But as soon as you add employees, of course, that changes. I know that was a lot of information, and I hope I didn't confuse you. The takeaway is you need to choose a vehicle where you're going to make 250K, or it's just not a good one. See you with the next one.